Hey guys, welcome back to the FPL Den. My name is Karan and I'm joined by Kesar, and today we're discussing the Game Week 3 watch list, and that is clearly not corrected on the screen, but yeah, that's what we're covering today. So without wasting any time, let's get right into it. Our first pick is a defender. We've got Sufaul on here. Kesar, would I like to take the lead on this one?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, West Ham is looking really, really good, and not just West Ham, but like most of the players are looking good. Specifically, Kufal getting quite high up the pitch. You can see the expected involvement in goals and assists on the heat map. He's giving good support to Antonio Benrahma. They have a very high potential of keeping clean sheets as well, especially in the next two game weeks. I personally think he's not must have, but if there's anyone I would trust at that price range for a defender, I know a lot of people have two transfers that they can make. He's definitely looking very good, and it's not just these two fixtures, but in the long run as well. They've got very, very good fixtures, and with Antonio in such good form, you'd expect him to score a lot of those crosses and assists coming from Gufal. So I would be really excited if I had him. Unfortunately, I don't. What's your view, Karan?
I feel that if you are ready to triple up on West Ham, then this is a good shout. If you already have Benrahma and Antonio, you can stay away from Sufaul. There is a chance that he will keep a clean sheet in both these games. I won't rule that out. But I would say that there are other defenders for the same or a slightly higher price range who will offer the same. It will give you like a different basket of teams to choose from, and that way you won't restrict yourself to just three players from one team. But definitely, if you don't have the other two West Ham picks, which is Benrahma and Antonio, I think Sufaul is good to consider.
Yeah, I mean, he's different position, so definitely I wouldn't be against tripling up on West Ham. I can't believe I'm saying that.
I know, right?
I don't think anyone would believe that, but he's playing well, and I think the last week 6-1. What was it, 6-1, or what was it? The scoreline
4-1, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever it was pretty remarkable to see the performance. Even though Leicester was one man down, but even when it was 11 versus 11, they looked really good. Kufal was carrying the ball forward, and Antonio was pretty good in the air. So yeah, definitely someone to keep an eye out for the next few game weeks.
Definitely, those are some tempting fixtures, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Moving on to Regulion. I actually have him in my team since the beginning of the season. He's kept two clean sheets, and I do expect him to keep a couple more, maybe with Watford and Crystal Palace up next. You can see the heat map. He has been quite involved, and for me, he has passed the eye test, which is one of the things I consider apart from stats. You can see his stats too. His stats are pretty good, and yeah, what do you have to say about him?
I mean, to be honest, I think when you're watching the game, it looks like he's more involved than what the stats show clearly over here. You can see the involvement in goals and assist potential is not as high as you probably would
want it to be, for sure.
Yeah, wanted to be, but and also I actually think I've got Dyer in my team. Obviously, lower price point, but the next two fixtures look really good. Both Watford and Crystal Palace both look toothless. So in attack, especially. So I do expect them to give a couple of clean sheets here. After that, probably be time to ship them out. But for the next two, definitely I agree. I think there was another thing though. They are outperforming Spurs as a whole, as a defensive unit, are outperforming their stats because they are conceding quite a few chances. Against Watford, Traore, on any other given day, he'd probably have scored. Again, Mahrez on the first game, we probably could have scored. Cancelo could have scored. But then the thing is, we don't deal in could have and should have. We deal in the business of points in FPL, and he's doing well. And Kane's going to be back. That's going to be huge. So, I mean, once Kane is back, obviously Regulon becomes much more attractive.
Definitely, and you can see that in the price change. He's gone from 5 to 5.1. I think there are a lot of people who are already considering him. So don't be any late to the party. You are already slightly late if you don't have him,
Yeah.
but I think he'd definitely be a good pick. Moving on, Rafinha. I think a lot of people had Rafinha in their initial drafts, and then they just saw the pre-match performances of other players and decided to get Rafinha probably in at a later date, or they did actually go for him. I'm not quite sure. I'm one of those who had him in my drafts and then chose against having him in my final team, and it has paid off, I would say. He did score a great goal last week, so here he is on our watch list. You can see he's created chances, he's taken some shots from decent areas, scored a goal as well. What do you think? Do you think you'd consider him? Do you think you'd get him in your team?
So I'm one of those people who opted not to have him initially in my drafts, and I didn't start with him on game week 1. I like him a lot, obviously, and I'm planning to get him. But the thing is, I'm planning to get him after the Liverpool game, because you get him in now for one game week, even though I expect they'll do well against Burnley. Then you may play him against Liverpool, may bench him, and then sort of, then they have a very, very good run of fixtures. And then I think he becomes a must after the Liverpool game. So if you want to avoid that price rise, because I know a lot of people will get him at that point, and you want to get him in now, and you can afford to bench him maybe against Liverpool. I would say go for it 100%. He's creating chances, be it assists, be it goals. He's a very good finisher as well. And I mean, I probably wouldn't put it out like say it's not possible that he can score against Liverpool.
Fair.
It's not like he can't. He can be involved. And Leeds is anyways a tough game for most teams. So yeah, great pick. I personally would probably wait till after Liverpool.
Fair. I think the only reason he's been mentioned here is because you can see Burnley's expected goals conceded. They've conceded 4.5 goals, expected 4.5 goals, and they've conceded 4 goals in the previous 2 games. And goal attempts conceded is a staggering 41.
Wow.
So
yeah,
I mean,
would you if you had? I mean, like I know a lot of difficult top premium players are playing difficult games. Would you consider Rafinha as a captain?
I don't think I'm that confident, man. Like I am confident, but not that confident. I'd
No,
probably give him
worth
the.
asking.
Sorry?
I'm saying it's worth asking
For
because a lot
sure,
of viewers might
definitely,
be wondering.
definitely. But I might give my captaincy band to a differential since we're on that topic. I am considering Mahrez, but let's see. Panorama, he has been the man of the hour, the man of the week, the man of the month so far. He's scored 2, assisted 2, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, he has. 5 goal attempts, 3 shots on target, 3 chances created. He has, like I said it at the beginning of the season, he's someone to keep an eye out on. You have to have him in your team, and the punt has paid off. And yeah, what do you have to say? You missed out on him, and did you get him now? Is what I want to know.
Yeah. I actually did miss out. You were very
Adamant,
vocal about having him in your team, and he's already increased by 0.2. That is insane in 2 weeks. Who does that? Like, he is definitely the man whose name is on everyone's lip at the moment. So yeah, I'm very, very happy. I've already got him. Yes, I did get him in. I've made my transfers. I think he's a must-have for the next 5 game weeks. He's looking really good, and the brilliant thing is not just the stats. Like, he looks good when you're seeing the games live, and he also the data also shows that he's doing well. That's a good combination to have,
Yeah.
And he's playing Crystal Palace at home. First of all, they're playing at home, so that's a big advantage. The fans at for West Ham really do rally behind them. So I expect good things in that particular game, and then Southampton again is not very difficult either.
Definitely, I completely agree with that, and I think he's forming a good partnership with Antonio, and that's good to
Very
see,
good.
right? Yeah, that's good to see, considering they have Crystal Palace and Southampton next. Crystal Palace, who's conceded 3 goals so far this season, and they have an XGC of 2.1, which is decent. If they can have 2 goals, I'm pretty sure that Benrahma or Antonio, at least one of them, will be involved.
Yeah, I think that's the important thing here. When you get Benrahma, and if you have Antonio, even if you don't have him, there's a very high chance that Benrahma will be involved in those goals.
Definitely.
Passes.
Yeah. Moving on, Son. Well, I feel so far this season he has underperformed. There were high expectations considering Kane wasn't playing the first two games. What do you think?
I mean, I've always said this since game week one or before game week one as well. Son actually, the data represents that he doesn't perform as well without Kane. And personally, I've not found Son that price range someone I would consider, especially because after 2 game weeks, like their fixtures, they might not be like very difficult, but it's a bit up and down. And the performance against Watford, against Wolves, if it was anything to go by, I'm not fully convinced. But the thing is, having said all of that negative stuff, the next two games look so good, and you can easily captain him against Watford. Like he could easily be like I wouldn't probably say highest captain because not many people own him, but I'm sure whoever owns him is really considering. Like I would consider captaining him against Watford if I had.
Definitely, and yeah.
An important thing to remember is that Kane's back. So obviously with Kane, same thing with Reguilon. Now they become more attractive automatically. Son performs much better when Kane's in the team. And then they're playing at home. So Spurs fans are going to be right. I'm assuming will be right behind Kane. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But they'll have something to prove. And if Kane has something to prove, he takes his game to another level. That automatically takes Son's game to another level.
Yeah, I completely agree with what you said. I have nothing to add to that. You pretty much covered everything that was there to be covered. Only thing I'd like to touch up on was probably the heat map. You can see that he was playing a little more central in Kane's absence, and if you see some of the goals or most of the goals he scored over the previous seasons, it's been coming from the left. So he's definitely more comfortable playing from the left. So maybe once we see him in his natural position, we might see better Son.
Agreed.
Yeah, moving on. Antonio, the second man, third man from West Ham actually in the short list. Who I don't know. I can't believe that we have three West Ham players in our watch list, but here we are. Antonio, I think everyone at the beginning of the season said that as long as he's fit, he's a great FPL asset to have, and he's proven that so far. 3 goals, 3 assists, 6 shots on target, 3 chances created, playing Crystal Palace next. And you just look at him, you look at that heat map, and you can see that he's always around the 6 yard box. All his goals, all his assists, everything comes in and around there. That's the what do you say, selling point for a lethal striker, right? Like he's in and around there in the danger areas, scoring goals, creating chances. What do you have to say about him?
Oh man, he's the legend. He is honestly the legend. Like I love the way he plays, even though he might sometimes miss sitters. It doesn't matter, dude. Yeah. He'll still come out with like a couple of goals. The fixtures look so easy. He's by far the easiest early captain prediction. Like easy. Like he looks in form. He's got a good fixture. What else can you ask for? If you haven't got him, you are already late. Please get him in your team. I would go as far as saying if you need to take a -4 and get him in, still do it.
Okay, wow.
Still do it. Generally people are against taking -4s like very early in the season, as Karan, you were telling me earlier before we started recording. But for him, you would do it.
Yeah.
You generally should take -4 for people who you're planning to captain or who are like on incredible form.
And they have great fixtures coming up.
He's everything you probably want from a striker and like your FPL asset. He's like, oh man, he's looking really, really good.
Yeah, for sure. And talking about looking really, really good, let's look at someone whose numbers aren't looking so good. Jamie Vardy, 1 goal. I think that was from a penalty. Other than that, he's not done much so far this season. But you can see from that heat map that he still is involved. He is still your talisman. He is someone who will get those goals. I know he's a premium pick. 10.5 is a lot to spend on a player. And if your player is not performing at 10.5 milli, you are definitely going to reconsider your decision. At this point, Kesar, do you think that Vardy is a good shout for 10.5 mil?
I actually think he's going a little under the radar because of obviously the just the price point. First game he scored, did his job. Second game they got a red card, so it was very difficult for Vardy to do his job and for the team to create. I would go out and say, as far as the next two, not just one, game week look insane for them. Look at the amount of goal attempts they've conceded Norwich. So that means that Leicester playing back with 11 people, they will create chances, and who finishes them? Always Vardy. It's always Vardy. He's on penalties, and the thing is, it's not just Norwich game. It's all the City game. Like everyone thinks, oh my God, City! Like what the fuck. Dude, he always scores against City. He's one man who always scores against City. They're playing at home even that one. So I wouldn't really say like, oh my God, City's a tough fixture. Only for Norwich you want to get him in is a bad call. Get him in, play him 2-3 weeks. I have another team that I play just for fun where I get pick up players who are
Faltu
not
11.
mainstream. I call it a Faltu 11. Trust me, I have him and he's my captain for this game week.
Fair.
It's Norwich, come on. They've been thumped already twice.
That's
8
true.
goals conceded.
That's true.
Right? So what's there to what have we seen from Norwich that says okay they're not going to concede as many in the next game week?
Fair. I can't disagree.
Yeah. I quite like him. I would definitely say and the thing with him is the 10.5 million cost is actually a good thing than a bad thing, because what you could do is you could keep him for a few game weeks, 2, 3, 4, and then just move to Lukaku. You're very close to that range then, right? You're anyways going to. I mean, for people who are looking to get Lukaku, and I know a lot of them will be looking to get Lukaku, or even if not that, then Kane. Like you get him, and you sort of save up $1 million here and there, and in transfers in the coming 2-3 weeks or whatever, and then get Kane in if you really need to. So it's not like if you get Vardy or just stuck with Vardy and you can't get anyone else. I really like him. He would, if like I said, like he's a good captaincy shout as well, because a lot of people will be going for differentials this game week.
Yeah, I that was a very interesting point you made actually, that you can switch to another premium striker very easily without making 2 to 3 moves and struggling to get him in. This would be like a straight swap with 1 million in the bank. You could just do it, or maybe a little higher if Lukaku's price changes. But yeah, I mean, I didn't consider Vardy until now as a potential transfer, but maybe that talk just changed my mind. We'll see how it goes. Is there anyone else that we're missing from this watch list that you'd like to discuss or touch up on?
Sort of putting me on the spot, but I have to think. But no one really other than that comes to my mind. But DCL is obviously doing well.
Yeah.
He's got a tough fixture, I would say, against Brighton though. Brighton defense looks very good.
Yep.
Then they play Burnley, if I'm correct, and Burnley is obviously generally pretty good in the air, which is DCL's main weapon. So if anyone, then maybe him. DCL looks like a good shout. Other than that, no one else that sort of comes to my mind. Anyone that jumps out for you? Maybe who's not on this list?
Yeah, actually, it is someone all of us considered to bring in at the start of the season, considering he was a cheap defender and all of that. Amartey. He still has potential considering they're playing Norwich, but that's again short term. Other than that, I don't see anyone. Amartey only because Vestergaard is injured again, and that opens the doors for him to play. Apart from that, maybe Greenwood, but no one else.
I mean, yeah, I think Greenwood's obviously he scored in 2.
2 and 2, yeah.
He's looking pretty good. But that's a boring pick. So I think the rest of the stuff that we've got here, the stuff that we're sharing with all of you guys, that's more exciting. That's what FPL is all about.
Yeah.
And a lot of people already do have Greenwood. So like you said, the first game you removed that against Leeds that United played. Like how much involved was Greenwood, or how much do you expect him? Do you really expect him to go on a spree of all these, giving assists and stuff like that when Sancho is playing? If you do, then obviously, that makes him a better asset. Where is he going to play? But is Martial going to play up front? Not front. So there's still a few questions about Greenwood. I think you should get in players who, for the long run, can probably give you benefit.
For sure.
Few games.
I completely agree. And honestly, I'd just like to touch upon one point that Bakar had mentioned in one of his videos. He said that right now it is very important for us to switch assets, the premium assets actually. That is De Bruyne, Salah, Bruno, say Kane, Vardy, and Lukaku. You got to pick them at the right moments in order to keep that momentum going or gain momentum if you're slacking right now. And I couldn't agree more. There are six, maybe seven, including Son, who are premium picks, and you can't have all of them in your team, but to have the right one at the right time is the most crucial thing in FPL this season.
Yeah, I mean, just for our viewers who don't know who Bakar is, suddenly this name that Karan is using, he's part of the FPL bio, pretty good channel on YouTube. They talk everything about FPL. We listen to a lot of other podcasts and other people, who create FPL content and stuff. So just to stay up to date, it's always good to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, but I definitely agree with that because slowly and steadily we will start moving towards the premium picks, but it's all about picking them at the right time.
Yep. On that note, we are gonna end this video. So please like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss a video from us. Until then.